Hi, it's Chris and Goran from PickDogs.com here with your 2021-22 Bundesliga season preview. We've got tons of free pick videos over at PickDogs.com and PickDogs YouTube channel, so make sure you check those out, as well as a bunch of free pick articles at the website, and we have our PickDogs premium section where you can get best bets for some of the top handicappers in the world. Goran, got the Bundesliga coming up. When we were in the pandemic, man, this was the first league that came back and gave us all a lot of nice stuff to watch and something to look forward to from a sports fan's perspective. Now we look forward to a new season where the German teams are going to get fans back in the stands.
Yeah, it was great seeing soccer on TV when we were in the pandemic, and Bundesliga was a fantastic in regards to that. And while we have Bayern, who won like 10 or 11 titles in a row in Bundesliga, and I'm pretty sure we would all love to see somebody else lift that trophy, but we'll get into that a bit later. Yeah, I think it's going to be another great season in Germany.
Absolutely. So now let's take a look at who we think is going to be the team to surprise or the team to watch this season.
I think the team to watch this season is going to be Stuttgart. You know, they have gotten back into Bundesliga before the last season, I believe, and they have had a massive impact. They've beat some great teams. They almost qualified for that conference league. They ended up 10th with 45 points. But they were great in the attack again with 52 scored goals. Their defense got a bit sloppy as the season progressed just because they don't have the depth. But their preseason was solid, and I think this is a team that will be fighting for that Europa League spot this season.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Borussia Mönchengladbach. You know, this is a team that finished, I believe, in 8th in 2021-22.
Yes.
And this was a very proud team that got used to playing in Europe, in the Champions League, in the Europa League. So for this team to fall back to 8th was just a big step back. And while this isn't necessarily a team to surprise, I think they're going to be the team to watch in terms of making one of the biggest moves back into that, top 4 this season. I think this could be a very good year for Mönchengladbach, with guys like Marcus Thuram and Alassane Pléa, who I believe are 2 French nationals. You have Jan Sommer, who I think is one of the most underrated goalkeepers in the Bundesliga, Swiss national, vice captain. This is a really good team that I think is actually going to make some pretty big noise this season.
Yeah, they also have the new coach this season, and they have a great coach. Eddie Huder is the new coach, who was previously in Eintracht Frankfurt, and he's done an excellent job there, and I don't doubt he's gonna do a fantastic job in Borussia Mönchengladbach as well.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at who you think is going to be the most disappointing team this season.
How can you pick anybody else but Borussia Dortmund, Chris, in this situation? This is a great team, the team that's always starts the season in a fantastic way. They beat everybody. They play great defensive soccer. They're scoring a ton of goals. They have one of the best young strikers in Holland. But this is the team that, as the season goes on and as they play the Champions League parallel to Bundesliga, they just start sinking, man. And I would love to see them win the title, but I think it's going to be another disappointing season for them.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit of a different route here. I'm going to go with Union Berlin. This is a team that really came out of nowhere last year to finish 7th in the league, qualify for the Europa League playoffs. But we also have to keep in mind this is a Union Berlin team that drew a league high 14 games, and I think they were very lucky to be in the position that they were in. Because a lot of those games, they had to either come from behind or they had a really big lead that they conceded late. There was one game in particular, I'm struggling to remember who was against. They were up 2-0. They gave up 2 goals in a span of 4 minutes in the 86th and 90th, and it was just it was crushing for Berlin. Like I said, I think that they are lucky to be playing European football. Kudos to them for doing so. Only having a couple years in Bundesliga after coming up from the second division, but I just think it's going to be a disappointment for their fans just based on where they ended up last year, thinking that spirits are high, and then all of a sudden, getting back to where they were the year prior.
Yeah, we talked about this in our La Liga video, and the team that flies high and doesn't actually is not expected to be there, or maybe doesn't deserve to be there, is gonna hit the bottom harder than than they normally would. And I kind of agree with you. I just don't see Union Berlin having another great season like they had the last one.
Absolutely. So now we're gonna take a look at what our bold predictions are going to be for this season in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just say a bit more about Borussia Mönchengladbach, who is my bold prediction to qualify for the Europa League this season. You have them to as the team to watch, and I gotta agree. They have a great team. They have a fantastic midfield. They have some great strikers. Their defense is solid, good goalkeeper, and they ended up in 7th or 8th place. What did we say last season? And yeah, they haven't qualified for Europe, and I think that's actually going to be good for them, just because they're not going to be stretched in multiple competitions. And for that reason, I see them ending up maybe 5th or 6th place, and who knows, maybe even in the Champions League spot.
Absolutely gives this team more focus. But for me, I'm going to look at one of the newcomers. I'm going to look at VfL Bochum to finish in the top 10. This is a team that has a lot of prestige behind it. It was well regarded as a football factory for creating some of the world's best talents. You still have guys, like Leon Goretzka that came out of there, and Ilkay Gundogan. This is a very good, team in terms of producing talent. I think they now have talent of their own that are homegrown, and they brought in as well to really establish themselves as a Bundesliga team once again. I do think they're going to crack the top 10, to be honest. I think this is just a situation where, back in the Bundesliga, they're going to relish the opportunity. Fans are going to relish the opportunity to see top flight football once again, with this team. And I think they ride that to a top 10 finish, maybe 9th or 10th. And would a European spot, maybe Europa League or playoff spot, surprise me? Maybe a little bit, but is it out of the question? Certainly not.
Yeah, Bochum is one of those iconic German teams that produced a lot of fantastic players over the years, and they have won the second Bundesliga last season by just 3 points ahead of Fürth, who also qualified for Bundesliga. They had the best defense, they had one of the best offenses, and I don't see them getting relegated. I think they'll be maybe 3-4 spots above the relegation zone, but it could easily be that they end up in top 10.
Absolutely. Now we're going to look at the teams that we think are going to be relegated this year. And Goran, speaking of Fürth, you're not having very high hopes for them this season.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often that all the teams that get promoted, that all of them stay in the top tier, and I just don't see it happening this season as well. I'm going to take Fürth and Arminia Bielefeld to get relegated this season, just because Arminia barely escaped the relegation zone last season. I don't see them being lucky again to do that twice in a row, and I don't think they are good enough to stay higher above the relegation zone. Those are my two teams, and it's probably going to be a tight race at the bottom of the standings, but Fürth and Arminia Bielefeld are my picks.
And Gordon and I are on the same wavelength here. I like Fürth and Bielefeld to go down as well. I just think that, Fürth is going to be that team that probably, comes up and just finishes dead last or second last, just because they can't handle the same rigors that the Bundesliga provides. And, I think that's just the reality of the situation. Armenia, when I saw them come up last year after they pretty much demolished the second division when they came up the year prior. And last year, they did have a nice start to the year, but again, they kind of middled around that 10th to 14th area all year long, and eventually slipped down almost near the relegation zone near the end of the season. Honorable mention to Cologne and Mainz, but I think that my two picks here, just like Goran, are going to be Fürth and Arminia Bielefeld.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be a tight race, because we have at least 6, maybe 7 teams that are kind of the equal quality, that are not good enough to be in the middle of the standings or higher, and those are the teams that will be fighting to stay in Bundesliga and to avoid the relegation. But Arminia Bielefeld is, in my opinion, the one team that will surely get relegated.
All right, now we're gonna look at what we all came here to see. Who do you think is gonna lift the trophy at the end of the season?
Like I said a few minutes before, I would love to see somebody else than Bayern to win the title, but I just don't see it happening. Sure, Bayern has the new coach. They haven't had a great preseason. I think they haven't won a single game in the preseason, which is unbelievable. Yeah, they haven't won any of their last 4 games. They've scored a goal in only 2 of those 4 games. Uh, Now the latest rumor was that Leon Goretzka wants to leave this team, but apparently they've reached some sort of agreement and he's gonna sign an extension. They lost David Alaba, who went to Real Madrid, but this is the team that still has Gnabry. They still have Lewandowski. They have Sane. They bought Upamecano from Leipzig, who's gonna strengthen their defense. They have Manuel Neuer. I mean, there's a bunch of players. They have a lot of depth, and I think they're gonna win the title, and I think it's gonna be dominantly.
Yeah, do I think Lewandowski scores another 40 goals? Probably not. But do we think that Bayern Munich lifts the trophy again? Absolutely. I just think, like Gordon said, there's just too much quality from top to bottom that I don't think any other team can really, upend. Can we see a Leipzig up in the top 4? Sure. Can we see Mönchengladbach up there? Absolutely. Dortmund, as much as Gordon hates them, sure. I just think though that there's not a team that has that ability to upend Bayern Munich. Let's be realistic. Bayern's probably going to go on another 20 game winning streak across all competitions and drop points maybe once or twice this year. But the best teams that we see in Europe even drop points 9-10 times a season. And for Bayern to be as dominant as they are, they're just in a class of their own, and I'm with Gordon here. I do think that Bayern ends up lifting the trophy.
Yeah, Bayern has scored 99 goals in 34 games last season. That's almost an average of 3 goals per game. And does Lewandowski need to score 40 goals again for Bayern to win the title? No, he doesn't. Just because they have a lot of options, they have a lot of depth, a lot of great players, and sure, Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund, maybe. I don't know who else we have there. Maybe Leverkusen, that could be a somewhat of a threat to Bayern for maybe a month or 2 in the season, or maybe after the season started. But yeah, I just don't see anybody else getting the title besides Bayern.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. We're going to have more soccer videos coming your guys' way this season. Lots of free picks. Like we always do over at Pick Dogs. We do it better, bigger and better than anybody else. Check out pickdogs.com for some free pick articles. We cover all the games over there, as well as our Pick Dogs YouTube channel. We have tons of videos covering all the games. Also, check out our morning show every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got the YouTube Premium, as well as all the pick, like I said, all the pick videos. So definitely check that out. Also, check out the Premium Pick section at Pick Dogs Premium. You can get Gordon's best bets, my best bets, as well as best bets from some of the other best handicappers in the world. I'm so tired. I'm talking over myself here, and I'm stumbling over my words left and right. But again, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button.